All right, good morning. Thanks for joining us. We will get started at 10 o'clock. Good morning, those on the phone and those tuning in from YouTube and Zoom. Thank you for coming. We will get started at 10 a.m. Just want to say once more, good morning to those joining us by Zoom, YouTube, or on the phone. Just letting you know, we're going to start at 10 a.m., so you're in the right place. All right, I just wanted to repeat for those of you joining us just now, you're here for Senior Scam Prevention, a partnership between the Schaumburg Library and the Schaumburg Police Department. We are going to get started at 10 a.m., so just hang on tight. All right, one more minute, just hang in there, and then we will get started. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, it's 10 o'clock. Let's get started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so happy that you're all joining us today. I'd like to give a warm welcome to our audience watching on Zoom and also those who are watching on YouTube. My name is Renee, Senior Services Coordinator at Schaumburg Library, and I'm joined by my colleague Matt from the library. So it's a pleasure to welcome you all and introduce Paula Diaz, Crime Prevention Specialist with the Schaumburg Police Department. Paula?
Thank you, Renee. And welcome everyone to our 10th annual Senior Scam Prevention presentation and our first ever virtual senior scam presentation via Zoom. This presentation will also be available on the library's YouTube site at schaumburglibrary.tv. Feel free to type your questions during the presentation into the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. Questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. Due to time constraints, please keep your questions brief. We will have a gift drawing, a prize drawing. To be eligible, if you are watching via Zoom, you can enter the drawing by completing the survey at the end of the program. You will be notified if you win. So be sure to stay on after the broadcast and a survey will pop up at the end. If you are watching on YouTube or listening on your phone, please call 847-923-3196. Again, 847-923-3196. And please provide your name, address, and phone number. This is within 1 hour after the presentation to be eligible to win one of the gift cards. I believe we have 13 gift cards available. Please make sure to call in after the presentation, not during. So after the end of the presentation, you'll have 1 hour to call the number. Again, it's 847-923-3196. And make sure you provide your name, your address, and your phone number. And this is only for people who are watching on YouTube or listening on their phones. We are broadcasting with closed captions. If you would like to take advantage of this and want the captions, you may have to go to your settings to enable them. We want to thank the many people who made this presentation possible. First, we want to thank the Schaumburg Township Library for hosting the event. We also want to thank the Support Our Senior organization for getting this presentation together. The members are Amita Home Health, Alden Rehabilitation Services, the Alzheimer's Support Group, Comfort Keepers, Kenneth Young, Friendship Village, Revere Court of South Barrington, the Schaumburg Barn and Nursing Division, the Schaumburg Park District, the Schaumburg Police Department, the Schaumburg Township, the Schaumburg Library, and Vistas Healthcare. We also want to thank the many vendors who donated gift cards for our drawing. They would be Home Advantage for Life, the Schaumburg Police Department, Comfort Keepers, Kenneth Young Center, Friendship Village, Alden Poplar Creek, the Schaumburg Barn and Nursing Division, the Schaumburg Township, Michael's Funeral Home, Brookdale of Hoffman Estates, and Revere Court of South Barrington. We finally want to thank Detective Paul Mylett for being our presenter. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to him. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads, children, kids of all ages, welcome. I'd like to thank you for being here. I'm Detective Mylett, Schaumburg Police Department. I have been with the police department for a little over 25 years. The whole purpose of today is to give you folks information of what you can do to avoid your being a victim or minimize your risk of being a victim. In all the years that I've been here, probably the number one thing that I have learned is anything can happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere. I don't care what city, what town, what state you live in. Crime happens everywhere. The thing is the less of a victim you make yourself, the better you'll be. So we're going to cover a lot of information today. Some of the information you may already know, some of it may be new. If you want to take notes, that's fine. If you have a question, raise your hand. I'm not going to see you. Just kidding. Don't do that. Let's go through here, have some fun. Again, if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section, and we'll try and answer it as many as we can. So what we'll cover, things to do, things not to do, things you better do, things you better not do, which I'll explain. And there's stuff that you should be doing, and if you haven't, well, you should have already done this. There's many things that you can do without our intervention to help minimize your risk of becoming a victim. And it's nothing crazy. It's nothing that you have to go out and get special training. It's super simple stuff. It's just what we call common sense, which a lot of people lack sometimes. So basic rules, and this is stuff, again, many of you already know. If it sounds too good to be true, guess what? It probably is. You can do your own research and verification on many things, which going through the presentation here, you'll see what I'm talking about. The wonderful thing about the internet is it doesn't cost you anything to look people up or look things up and verify your own information. So this is stuff you can do on your own. Don't be afraid to question. Question who, what, where, when, why. Who am I talking to? Where is this going? Why is this person contacting me? Why is this business sending this to me? Is this something that is this legitimate? If you have a feeling or that the hair in the back of your neck is standing up, that's usually a good indication. Maybe you should look into this a little more. Don't let someone pressure you or try and force you or try and do the quick salesman talk to get you to sign something, join something, or do something that you don't feel comfortable with. You are in control of what you do. Don't let someone else control your feelings, your thinking, your rationale. You're in control of it, so stay in control of it. Right off the bat, if you have not done this already, and unfortunately this is where we've come to in this world and society, the 3 credit bureau services on the screen here, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, freeze your credit. Many of you know what freeze your credit is. If not, I'll briefly explain it to you. What freezing your credit does is it basically locks down all your credit information with these 3 credit bureaus. And if anyone tries to access it, they cannot. When thieves go and do identity theft or try and steal your identity, they apply for credit cards. They apply for auto loans. We're starting to see application for mortgages. So any type of application like that where your credit is involved will get denied. It will not go through. Go to each one of these sites. It only takes a couple minutes on each one of the sites, and there's links right on there to freeze your credit. It does take a couple minutes for each site. Trust me, it is well worth a few minutes that you will spend on each of the sites, signing up, freezing your credit. It doesn't cost anything, as opposed to the headache of, God forbid, your identity gets stolen or your credit gets hacked, and dealing with that, because you will literally be dealing with that for years to come. So spend a few minutes on each one of these websites and get in there and freeze your credit. So some warning signs that you guys can look at or be aware of fraud. And these are just a couple. These are not all of them. But if you start thinking and looking at these and start getting in the mindset and adapting these concepts. It will help you notice things and kind of, this may not be good, a lot more easier. Obviously, be suspicious. You want a prize or free gift. Okay, if you haven't signed up for anything and someone's offering you a free prize or gift just out of the blue, we call that a clue. Or you've been selected to receive this special offer, and there's only a small handful of people out of the millions of people in America, but we chose you. Yeah, okay, it's not working. If you don't do this now, you're going to lose out. You're not going to be able to get this again. Again, there's that pressure tactic. You'll get this for free. You've got this wonderful gift that we're going to give you. However, unfortunately, the shipping's going to be about $10, $15. You got to pay for that. But this gift is worth $300. And what they do with that is once you agree to pay for the shipping, however you pay for it, they now have that information. And even though they say they're only going to charge $10 for shipping, they have your credit card information, whatever payment information you gave them, they now have that, and they can go access those accounts. Whatever you have in there, they will drain them. Again, give us your credit card number, your expiration date. Citibank, Chase, none of the credit card companies are going to call you up out of the blue and, you know what, we want to verify your credit card information. Can you verify your information? What's your credit card number? And what's the security code number on the back? Credit card companies don't do that. They do not do that. So it's just super simple. Again, if it sounds too good to be true, or that whatever little hair I have on the back of my neck, it's standing up. Yeah, that's, we call that a clue. Out of the blue, you just get a randomly anonymous phone call, starts asking about personal information, stuff about your accounts. All right. Again, utility companies, credit card companies don't just randomly call you and start asking you to verify your personal information. That doesn't happen. Charities. Hey, we're looking for, some charities in your neighborhood. Can you donate? Yeah, if you say we only need $10. Again, you donate $10. Whatever payment method you use, they're going to take that payment method and they are just going to empty that. National Homeless and Wellness Alliance of America. How many people have donated to that? Right, if you're raising your hand, you're a liar, because I just made that up. And if you donated to it, I still haven't gotten the money. So even though it sounds official, National Homeless and Wellness Alliance of America sounds pretty official. It's not. It's made up. Always be aware. And again, you're one of the chosen few to receive this offer. Okay, I don't believe that. So let's talk about this thing that we call the internet. The wonderful thing that many of us really don't understand, but unfortunately we're being forced to use it. I've always said, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, especially on the internet. Just because you see something on the internet, a website, a picture, a link that looks official, there's a very good chance that it's not. So always be aware. Always be aware. The internet is good. Internet bad. Oh, internet very bad. Technology has changed everything. Stop and think to even 10 years ago, where we were with our phones, where we were with TVs. Stop and think about 20 years ago, which really wasn't that long. So don't get down on yourself. 20 years is not that long ago. Think of all the technology and how it's just exponentially grown over the years, and it will continue to grow exponentially. Remember the good old days? In school, work, anytime you needed something. The Dewey Decimal System, the card at the library, Encyclopedia Britannica. Boy, if you got the newest set, man, you were set in the neighborhood. You were the stuff. Remember all these? Film projector. You walked into class, teacher set up a film projector. Yeah, you knew that was a good day in class. That was coming up. Slide projector. Many of you don't remember. Okay, yeah, slide projectors when you went over to Uncle Bill and Aunt Betty's house and they were showing you slides of their vacation. Okay, yeah. Typewriters, yep. Notebooks, the good old days. Unfortunately, Cameras. The big video cameras. How many people had the big shoulder mounted video cameras that you had to carry around with you that weighed about 30 pounds and gave you a backache by the time you were done? Unfortunately, with technology, all those things that and what's funny about this is that if there's anybody under the age of 30, they have no idea what the hell we're looking at right now. So here's the thing with technology. All those things that I just showed you are now available in this. A cell phone and a tablet. Each one of those, especially smartphones, they can do everything that I just showed you. And that is the nice thing about technology. That's also the bad thing about technology, because all that information that we had to use from different resources are now available in one source, a cell phone, a smartphone. It's troubling to know that as technology increases, we become more vulnerable, even though it's supposed to make us safer. Many of you have social media accounts, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, or any kind of social media app. These sites are good. They're good because they can bring people together. I have relatives that live in South Africa. I can now communicate and chat with them. I have relatives all over the country. I have good friends in Phoenix and Scottsdale. I can communicate with them. I can communicate with family in North Carolina, Florida, wherever. That's the good thing about these things. They are fantastic for communicating, reaching out. It brings the world closer to you, even though the mileage and the distance is still the same. But the other side of that is that even though it can bring everyone closer together, it also brings the criminals closer to you. So scammers, what they will do is they will read and look at the internet and look at your posts, your Snapchats, anything. They look for things, they look like obituaries, a recent family member that's died. And these scammers will then target the family. Hey, yeah, your Uncle Bob just passed away, and you'll get a phone call or contact from someone 2 days later. Yeah, hey, Bob Schmidt, you know what? I did some work for him 2 weeks ago. He owes me $2,000 and I haven't been paid. Unless you knew what Uncle Bob was doing, is there any way to verify that this gentleman or this scammer is legit or not? You don't. It's things like that. These criminals will take advantage of people's good nature, and the technology and the internet and everything else just make that happen even easier. Vacations. Many of you on Facebook, Snapchat love posting pictures of when you're going on vacation. Guess what that does? That advertises that, yes, you are on vacation. So more than likely, your house is probably not going to be occupied. And as we'll get into it later, your information's on the internet, whether you like it or not. Your information's out there. You give me your name, I will find out as much as I can about you for free on the internet. It's out there. So I'm not going to say don't post pictures of being on vacation, but again, just please be careful and be wary of what you post. So let's go to some emails here that everybody gets. It's called phishing. And what it is you get sent, or there's a connection to what looks to be a legitimate website. Especially with the 3 credit bureau websites that I showed earlier. Type in the address as you see it. Do not click on a link. Type in exactly as you see it, because many times when you get these emails, they appear to be legitimate. They are not. And I will show you what happens, the difference between a legitimate website link and an illegitimate website link. So this is an email that I just got on Friday. It's regarding me signing up for the website Etsy, and they want me to confirm everything. I didn't sign up for Etsy. I don't have an Etsy account, and I thought Etsy was a restaurant when I first heard it. It's not. As you can see there, right in the middle, confirm your email. You click on that link. Okay, obviously I'm not clicking on that link. Underneath it, if you need help, please contact Etsy support. Again, that is not Etsy support email. Down at the bottom, it says Etsy.com. That is not Etsy's email. That is not their website address. These are all fake links. Another one I just got on Saturday from Amazon. I haven't ordered anything from Amazon. Now, I don't know if you can read it, it might be blurry, but it's confirming my order of a really nice, I wish I did order it, flat screen TV that was being delivered. Well, the place it's being delivered to is not me, and it's not my address. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to goat me into it. Like, wait a second, hold on, that's not my account. That's not my information. That's not my address. So what do you want to do? Well, you want to rectify this right away. So I'm going to click on the links here. It says in there, if you'd like to view the status of your order or make any changes, please visit your orders. And there's a link there. Guess what? That's not an Amazon link. And I don't know if you can see it. Misspellings in emails are a huge clue. That should be your first indication. If you look at the word orders and the word confirmation, there is no O's. Those are zeros. Order starts with a 0. Confirmation has a 0 in it, in the beginning and at the end. None of these links are legitimate. So here's what I'm saying. So say you want to go to Microsoft.com, and when you go to Microsoft.com, it should be exactly that, Microsoft.com. That's it. Nothing else before it, nothing else after it. An illegitimate website will be Microsoft.com, but when you further investigate the link, see all that gibberish underneath? Even though it says Microsoft.com in the very beginning, all this other gibberish down in the bottom is a redirect to an illegitimate website. So that's why you type in, when I say type in the addresses, if you're going to Microsoft.com, you type in Microsoft.com, go to it. Same thing with the credit bureau information. You type it in exactly, because there are so many spoof sites or imitation sites that if you misspell one letter, it will take you to an imitation site. So always be very careful about that. If you see, now most of your websites that you see end in .com, which for company, that's what .com stands for. It's called a domain. Anything whatever is called a website domain. .com stands for company. If you see a link and it ends in .download, .website, .info, chances are there's a good chance it's probably a fraudulent website. Now, if you see a domain after whatever the name of the website and .cn, .ru, .ng, .co, those are websites that are linking you to Chinese, Russian, Nigerian, and Colombian websites. More than likely, high probability, those are scammer websites. Now, I know I said .com is probably the most common used all over the world. Look at that bottom one. That is not .com. See what that is? It is not .com. It is .c0m. Be very aware of that. It looks like .com, but it's not. It's .c0om. So for all of you that like to watch CSI and all these crime shows, start doing your own investigation. When you get emails, don't click on anything, but start researching it. Start looking into it. It's an easy way to burn up a couple hours on a rainy day. But definitely be very aware of emails or anything that you get that's totally unsolicited. Here's a problem, because the reason why you get so many of it, this is no small change. It's not like someone just came and took my book of S&H green stamps. It's not like that anymore. These criminals are going for money, and lots of money, big money. And 99% of the time, the money ends up out of the country. So give you an example. So $1 of US is equivalent to $77 in the Russian ruble, $380 in the Nigerian naira, and $3,664 in the Colombian pesos. So when you are transferring money to these other countries, the amount of money that you're sending, even if it's $5,000 or $10,000, which is really not a lot, these criminals are getting away with $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. We've even seen 6-digit numbers where these criminals are getting away with. So let's kind of put that into perspective. Average salary in Colombia is around 5 million Colombian pesos. Sounds like a lot, okay, but the value of the Colombian pesos is really not that good. $1 US is equivalent to $3,600 in Colombian pesos. If the Colombian scammer only gets away with 5,000 US dollars from you, that's $18 million in Colombian pesos. That's 3 months of salary, a little over 3 months worth of salary that they've gained from just one transaction in one day. And these scammers get hundreds every day around the world. So again, this is only 5,000. If they get 10,000, 20,000, even 50,000 from you, it's huge money in the company, in the countries that they live in. That's why America is such a target-rich environment. And what happens is that once the stolen funds have been transferred out of the country, and it happens in a very short time, it can be a matter of hours, it can be a matter of a day or two. Once that money leaves the country, it's done. So there's me. I just sent my money to the bad guy, and the bad guy now sent it to God knows where around the globe. It happens extremely quick, and once it's gone, unfortunately, it's almost impossible for us to get your money back. Once it leaves the country, it's done, which is sad because a lot of the money that is stolen is life savings, retirement funds. It's things like that that are taken that there's no way that can be replaced. And unfortunately, we have no way of getting it back. We can't, it's just not possible. So when you do payments, if you ever do payments online, some of you may have heard of these PayPal and Venmo. PayPal is one of the most robust and secure payment sites there are on the internet. Venmo is easiest one to find friends. It's almost kind of like almost like text messaging money is how Venmo is. It's very easy to do, and that's the problem, is that it's very easy to do. PayPal owns both Venmo and PayPal. Now the problem is with PayPal. PayPal is more stringent than Venmo. So getting your money back from a fraudulent transaction or anything is possible. It is quite possible. The problem with Venmo and another one called Zelle, the problem with that is that you are the one that is authorizing, you're receiving the request for payment. You're acknowledging the request for payment, and you are authorizing and forwarding the request for payment. Therefore, it's not looked upon by these companies as fraud because you're the one that authorized the payment and sent the payment. Unlike credit card fraud, where someone steals your number and is using it without you knowing. This, the Venmo and the Zelle, you're the one authorizing forwarding the payment. So it's extremely hard to get reimbursed using these types, the Venmo and the Zelle, if you're the one that sent the money. PayPal is very good. Again, always be careful with what you do. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. Phone call scams. Remember that do not call registry that worked for about maybe 9 months, and for whatever reason it stopped working. Yes, we get phone calls nonstop. Here's what I do. I get the phone call, especially on my cell phone. Everyone's cell phones get these calls. If I don't have that number in my contacts, I do not answer it. Even if it's somebody I know, but if they're not in my contacts, I don't answer it. That's why God invented voicemail. Let it go to voicemail. If it's somebody that really needs to talk to you, let them leave a voicemail. Don't answer the phone, and I'll explain why. But here's something that I think everyone here can relate to. Your car warranty is about to expire. Okay, that's a robocall. And what it is, it's basically a robot that just dials random numbers, millions of random numbers. When there's a connection, it automatically connects it to a person in another country, not in the US. What happens is that when you answer that phone, it automatically clicks and sends you to a representative. Now, I know that many people get frustrated and get aggravated, and you just want to mess with these people so bad. You just want to waste their time, and you know what? Screw you. I'm going to waste their time. Don't do that. Okay? No, that's bad. Don't do that. I know. Why? Come on. Why? It's so much fun. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Here's why. What happens is that once you answer your phone, and there's a voice that answers, not a voicemail or anything like that. Once a human answers the phone, that phone is now registered as a legitimate phone number. And that legitimate phone number is now put on a list. That list can now be sold to dozens, hundreds of other scammers. So each time you answer your phone, the only thing you're doing is you're putting yourself on a list for more people to call you. So if you get a phone number that is not in your contact list, you don't recognize it, don't answer it. Just let it ring. And again, God made voicemail, let it go to voicemail. If they don't leave a message, guess what? Then it's not that important that they needed to talk to you right away. Do not mess around or try and waste their time, because the few seconds of enjoyment that you get out of that is just going to create more headache for you down the road with numerous more phone calls. What happens is that you get what's put on, it's called a sucker list. And Wikipedia says sucker list is a list of people who have previously been successfully solicited for something. The major uses of sucker lists are for solicitation of donations and fraud. That's really the only thing that they're used for. They're not used for anything else. So the more you answer your phone, the more lists you're going to be put on. So I don't want to beat a dead horse, but if you get a phone call, you don't recognize the number, please do not answer it. If you often respond or sign up for sweepstakes, you're shopping, you're going through the mall and you see a big, nice, beautiful car there, or you see a nice display for a wonderful vacation, a week vacation, and you fill out that little piece of paper and you put it in the box there with all the thousands of other people that have put it in there. Do you really think you're going to win a vacation or a car from that? No. What they're doing is they're mining. It's called mining. They're gathering information. They may give a trip away to one person, but the amount of information across the country that they gather is going to be used for other purposes. It's not for that car. It's not for that trip. If you've donated before, or you've been caught in fraud before, you're a victim of fraud before, you're also put on the list. And people now know, the bad guys now know that, hey, we got this person once, this person's good to go, hit them up again. You'll be put on more lists. Also, what you have to be careful is once you're a victim, you may start getting phone calls from bad guys. Hey, you know what? We understand that you're a victim of fraud. We can help you recover that. Okay. And the only people that are going to be helping you do that is the police department. Somebody over in Nigeria or Russia, they're not going to help you get your money back. They're going to try and take more money from you, because what they're going to do is they're going to ask for details about the event. They're going to ask you for details about the incident. What happened? What'd you use with credit card? Oh, you did a Chase. Oh boy, the Chase isn't doing anything for you. All right, well, we can do that. We have access to Chase. What's the credit card number? Let me look up your account. And then now more money gets stolen from you. So also be aware of that. ComEd, the IRS, NICOR, Microsoft, Windows, whatever. They never call you out of the blue to make a payment to your account. They don't accept payments like that over the phone. And if you're billed, trust me, they will mail you, and you will get stuff in the mail. And I'm sure we've all seen that. The big thing is you either pay by check. I don't know if anybody still pays by check, or credit card, or cash at whatever local branch. Places that call you up, IRS, ComEd, NICOR, asking for a Visa gift card payment, an Apple iTunes, or a Green Dot, which is another form of a payment card. Yeah, they don't do that. That's what bad guys do. Bad guys accept those because that's something that's easy accessible to them. Gift cards and prepaid debit cards. Now, the Visa gift card you have, the Green Dot card. The Green Dot card, what that is it's not actually a gift card. It's actually a reloadable debit card. You can put money on it and use it as a debit card. They're easier to use than like a Visa gift card, because sometimes Visa gift cards are not acceptable, or whatever the transaction won't accept a Visa gift card, but will accept a debit card, which is what a Green Dot is. A Green Dot is a card where you can put on more money and it will be viewed as a debit card. You can buy them anywhere, and the problem is that whatever money you put on there, as soon as you give the information to NICOR for your payment, they have that card's information. And even though they're only going to say, oh, yeah, we'll deduct the $25. If you have $1,000 on there, that $1,000 is gone, and there's no way to recover it. So what they do is they will ask you not only for the number on the front, but then they're going to ask you for the security code. Hey, can you scratch off the little thing on the back and give us a security code on the back? Once you do that, once you give them the gift card number and that scratch off number on the back, you have given them the key to every dollar that's on that account. Again, NICOR, IRS, nobody accepts these kind of payments. Microsoft. Every once in a while, if you accidentally click on a link in an email, all of a sudden you're going to get a warning that your computer has been infected by a virus. And, oh, you know what? We can fix it for you. We've detected a virus. We can fix it for you. It may even look like it says it comes from Microsoft. Hey, Microsoft detected a virus on your computer. We can fix it for you. Microsoft doesn't do that. And God forbid, again, they're going for the shock, they're going for the value. So God forbid you turn on your computer and you see this. Looks pretty official. Looks pretty scary. Your computer has been locked. Oh boy, there's the FBI. Now the FBI is involved. Oh man. Now you start thinking of everything that you did bad. Did I pay that ticket? No, yeah, that's speeding. Oh boy. Oh man, they're catching up to me. No, they're not. No, they're not. Obviously this is fake. Look at the bottom of the screen. See what they accept for payment? The FBI, Green Dot, Walmart. You can get your Green Dot money card over Walmart, Walgreens, Kmart, CVS. FBI doesn't accept payment like this. FBI will not contact you about your computer virus. If the FBI is interested in your computer, they're not going to send you an email telling you that they're interested in your computer. You'll know that the FBI is interested in your computer when they come busting your door down with a search warrant. Other than that, FBI doesn't care what's on what virus you caught on your computer. So some online scams. and the phone. Again, immigration. Immigration is huge for people from other countries that are now living here. IRS, Social Security. You know, there's a problem with your Social Security number. Utility companies, water company. Yep, you're late on your water bill. You better pay your water bill. ComEd, Nicor. Yep, you have to pay. If you don't pay by 4 o'clock today, we're shutting your utilities off, especially in the middle of winter or the middle of summer. Yep, we're going to shut your utilities off. They don't do that. That's not how it works. Again, Windows, Microsoft. They don't just randomly scan people's computers to make sure they're working okay. Lottery and inheritance, which used to be really big. We're not seeing too much of those anymore. You get letters or emails from people claiming that they've won the lottery, but they can't collect it because they're not a legal they're not a legal immigrant to the country, or they're having legal issues. That's yeah. If anybody randomly called me and offered to split their lottery winnings for me, we call it a clue. Again, we call it a clue. So the immigration, IRS, Social Security scams on the phone. They'll tell you that your information has been compromised. Social Security, hey, your Social Security number has been linked to criminal activity down in Texas, and we need to verify this, and we need to make sure it's you. Otherwise, we're going to come arrest you. Okay. Another clue: Social Security people don't go arresting people for criminal activity in other states. Immigration, same thing with IRS. IRS, you're being convicted or you're being accused of tax fraud, and we're coming to arrest you. The police are coming to arrest you. No, we're not. No, we're not. Immigration, again, people who are here to this country, and people who are legitimately here. This is truly a big fear for people. These immigration scams, because they come from other countries, whatever countries, and they know how it works back in their country. They're here in the U.S. They're here contributing and enjoying a good life in America. And now that might be compromised because now immigration is saying that they're involved in criminal activity. They don't know what it is, but they're being told that they're involved in criminal activity, and if they don't pay this fee, then yeah, they're going to get arrested. And for people from other countries, that's a very real feeling for them. And paying this fee to get it resolved, it doesn't work like that. Utility companies, ComEd, Nicor, we're seeing a lot of claiming to be from the village water department. Yeah, there's a problem with the village. We're gonna have to shut your water off if you haven't paid your bill. And you try and think, yeah, I have. No, it says we haven't. So you owe us back months. You owe us like $500. What? All right, well, we're shutting your water off. No. Here, whatever. Okay. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Again, they're using the threat, the immediate threat. If it's not done now, bad things are going to happen. So they're going to try and get you to think that if I don't act on this immediately, something's going to happen. Again, question: who, what, where, when, why? Always think about that. ComEd, Nicor, you can go right to their sites, and they will have information on there about how to prevent yourself from a scam, what to look for if someone's claiming to be from ComEd or Nicor. They'll have a bunch of information on there on both and any sites nowadays, any utility sites, because it's so common. It happens everywhere that these utility companies now have to add these type of warnings. Hey, this is what we're seeing people imitating to be us, and it's not us. So go ahead and look at these sites. If you have any questions about any of it, go ahead and look them up. Again, now we're going back to, your computer is infected with a virus, and the technicians over at Microsoft have found and detected that it needs to be fixed. And if you don't, well, this virus is going to do bad things to your computer. If your computer's working fine and you just get that email from out of the blue, There's a button you can push on your computer. It's called delete. Yeah, feel free to press that whenever you want, when you get emails like that. The lottery, inheritance. I won the lottery. You get an unsolicited email from somebody you have no idea who it is. Hey, I won the lottery, but due to legal reasons, I can't collect it. If you can collect it on my behalf, I will pay you $30,000, $100,000. Really? Does that really happen? No. Canadian lottery, Lotto Max, 649. Hey, I won the Canadian lottery, but due to legal issues up here, I can't collect it. However, you being a U.S. citizen can. Could you collect this for me? Okay, who are you? No. Inheritance. Oh, I'm supposed to be getting money from Aunt Mabel. Aunt Mabel passed away, but yeah, I kind of got into some trouble, and due to my IRS filings, I can't collect it. So would you be able to do this? Or a Nigerian prince has offered me money, offered me $2 million, but I can't do it because of my status. Does that really happen? Sure, in Hollywood, not here. Again, question it. Now, grandparent scheme, and I know that this is tough because this plays on your emotions, and that is another tactic that they use. They play on your emotions. You get a phone call. Hi, Grandma, it's me. What's the first thing you're gonna say? Is this Bob? Is it Bobby? Yeah. Or hi, Grandpa, it's me. Paul, what'd you do? What happened? What information did you just give? You gave a name. Yeah, I got into an accident, and I'm kind of in trouble, and I can't. They're gonna arrest me if I can't post bail. I got in trouble for this, and I owe a fine. And I can't do anything until I pay the fine. It's called this is one of the original grandparent schemes. Is someone, an alleged grandchild, calling you up, and they usually disguise the voice. And when you ask, why does your voice sound different? I got to an accident. I have a bandage on my nose. I'm all bandaged up. I'm sorry. Or, I hit my lip and I can't talk right. And they're playing on your emotions. And the only way you can pay the fee, again, is by using a gift card, debit card, some type of online payment. Or they'll ask to send the money Western Union. Can you wire me the money? No. I've been doing this job for 25, 26 years, and I've yet to see any police department accept a gift card as payment for bail or get somebody out of jail. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work. Contractors, just out of the blue, and I'm sure homeowners out here have seen it, especially after a storm. You get the storm chasers coming up. Hey, your roof is pretty messed up from the storm, or your trees, your lawn, your paint, your siding, whatever, your kids, they look kind of nasty. You want to change them? All right, no, it doesn't work like that. Always be very wary of contractors that just come up to you from out of the blue. It's a huge invitation to be scammed. What we recommend is, if you're looking for something to get done, find 3 reputable contractors and get estimates from all 3 of them. Don't take an estimate, or don't allow someone to come and do work at your house that just walked up off the street. Common one we see is the driveway sealing. It'll take us about 45 minutes. We'll be done. Yeah, we'll do it for $250. $250 would do your whole driveway. It'd be nice and good. Problem with that is A, the stuff they're using is not driveway sealer. It's usually they have a big vat on the back, and what it is, it's used oil. And B, as they're working, you know what? Well, we're doing this, but we found this, and that's not good. So sealing the driveway, if we don't fix this, sealing the driveway is going to be pointless. So, if you want, we could stop, or we can fix it for you. No, fix it. Okay, yeah, that's going to be another $350. So by the time you're done with all the garbage that they're spewing at you, you have a driveway coated in oil that you cannot get off, and you're now $1,000 as opposed to $250. And that's what they do. They're smooth talkers. So again, if you want any work done, licensed, reputable contractors get at least 3 estimates. Very, very rarely should you ever accept any type of work to be done by a contractor that just walks up off the street. Leads us to what they call Ruse Burglaries. This is becoming extremely popular, and these guys are good. We've had not just Schaumburg, we've had all over the country. Ruse burglaries are an epidemic. They are bad. And if you've fallen victim to one ever, don't feel bad. I should have known. Why didn't I do this? These guys are good. This is basically their full-time job. And if you're good at your full-time job, you're really good at it. These guys are really good. You're going to get people that come up and they're going to have the hard hats. They're going to have the vests. They're going to have the truck. And they're going to say, hey, we're going to be working on your neighbor's tree in the backyard, or we're looking to put up a fence in your neighbor's backyard, and it's butts up to your yard, or we're doing telephone, whatever. We're doing some type of work. Can you do me a favor? Come back. Let's go in the backyard and I'll show you exactly. Can you tell me where your line is or what you don't want disturbed? I don't want to ruin anything that's yours. 2 minutes and then we'll be good. While you're doing that, they have an accomplice that's waiting. As soon as you go around and go in the backyard, they have someone come in, and the first place they go to is the master bedroom. Why? Because that's where the valuables are kept. Criminals nowadays, they're not stealing TVs, they're not stealing stereos, they're not stealing stuff like that. It's all gold, silver, jewelry, anything precious that they can grab and literally throw in a pillowcase that they take from your bed. That's what they're grabbing. And all they need is 1.5 to 2 minutes. That's it. So again, if someone comes up and poses, hey, we're from the village, we're from the water department, we need to test your water, we need you to come look at this, we're from Public Works, we're from the fence company, question it. Especially from the village. If there's not a village vehicle parked out in front of your house and just some plain old truck, and they don't have an ID that says they're from the village, they're not village employees. Trust me, the village spends a lot of money on clothes and equipment, and it says it's got the village's name everywhere. There's no doubt about it when somebody from the village shows up at your house. If you got someone that shows up in a plain, just a regular plain vest, plain hard hat, a plain truck, yeah, again, we call it a clue. So be wary of that. This is becoming huge. And again, these guys are good. They are smooth talkers. Problem with these ruse burglaries is that elderly homeowners are the prime target, because they are taking advantage of your trusting nature. And again, they're smooth talkers. They're really good. They will play on your emotions. They will try and become your best friend within the first 30 seconds that you're talking to them. They're good at what they do. And they know that generally senior citizens are good heart, good natured, and they take advantage of that, which is sad. And again, when you lose the money, when they take stuff, you're not just losing money, you could be losing family heirlooms, treasures that have been in the family for a long time, and once it's gone, it's gone. We can't do anything about it. Very, very rarely are we able to ever recover jewelry, anything like that taken in these ruse burglaries, because they've been doing it. These crooks have been doing it for so long. They have such a complicated network that something that is stolen from this area can be brought to another state within a day or two, and there's no way we can track where it went. So please be very careful of these. Again, since you folks are retired, you have pensions, you have retirement funds, you worked hard, you've got your nice nest egg. And these criminals know that. And that's why you see these investment deals. Hey, you know what? I got a tip. You know, we've got some good information on some stocks, the market, this, that. Um, I, I trust you're a good person, and you'd probably want to earn some more money for your inheritance, for your sons, daughters, for your grandchildren. Think of what you could do for your grandchildren if you were able to make just some more money. Think how well they would be because of you, and how thankful they would be if you could help them out, especially in times like this. I sound pretty good, don't I? They do the same thing because they know that retired people usually have a substantial nest egg or some type of retirement fund that is just it's a good amount of money, and if they can get their hands on it, that's huge to them. So if you have a broker, investment firm, whatever that you've been using, stay with them. If you get unsolicited coming up, hey, I work for such and such a firm, we can help you out. Yeah, you work for them. You know what? They're really not that good. Our firm is better. Okay. Again, CSI time for you guys. Start doing your own research. Is this legitimate? Is it not? If you get something unsolicited like that, good chance that it may not be a valid entity to go to. So always be aware of that. Big thing that we've seen, especially in the last year, the unemployment benefit scam. And I'm willing to bet, a safe bet, that there's quite a few of you out there that have already been a victim of this. I've been a victim of this. It is an epidemic of what's going on here. And it's real bad all over the country. It's real bad in Illinois. The IDES, the unemployment scam, where basically what happens is that your information is submitted to the state for unemployment benefits. Just to give you an idea, well, real quick, if this website here, write this website down, crayon, spray paint, wall, I don't care, write it down. If you ever are a victim of unemployment scam, because the first notification you're going to get is you're going to get a letter in the mail from either IDES, Illinois Department of Employment Securities, or you're going to get a letter from a company called KeyBank. You're going to get a letter from them explaining that your benefits have been approved. That's usually your first indication that you've been a victim of the scam. And by that time, I'm not saying it's too late, but by that time, you better take action right away. And if you haven't at that point already frozen your credit, that is the first thing you need to do, is freeze your credit immediately. If you get any indication from the bank, the key bank, saying that your unemployment benefits have been approved, or from IDES that your benefits have been approved, immediately go, if you haven't already, to those 3 websites, the credit bureaus, and freeze your credit. Because by the time you get that letter, things have already been rolling and your identity is already in the process of getting stolen. So this website here, this is the website that you go to report it to the state. This is where you tell them and file the complaint of what you've that you've gotten the letters and you are a victim of unemployment fraud. Now, if you do get that card in the mail, which is usually the 3rd letter you'll get one from the state, you get one from the bank, and then the 3rd one will be this debit card that you get in the mail. If you receive that card, do not call the bank. Most of all, do not use that card. Okay, repeat after me. Do not use that card. And I know that there's some of you out there, not many, I'm sure there's some of you out there that will be, you know what, screw the state. I'm going to use it, then I'm going to file that this is a fraud. No, don't do that. I think I heard an amen out there when I said screw the state. Okay, no, don't do that. Don't do that, please. There's a reason why. If you use that card, I hate to break it to you. Yeah, you got some explaining to do. Here's why. Because what happens is when an unemployment claim is filed on your behalf, fraudulently, whether you do it or it's done fraudulently, the option of having the funds put on your debit card or direct deposited, you have that selection to do. Now, when these criminals are filing a fraudulent claim on your behalf, they always select direct deposit. So your funds will go in that direct deposit. Every claim gets a debit card. Doesn't matter if you select direct deposit or not. Every person that files a claim automatically gets a debit card. So just because you get the debit card doesn't mean that, oh, well, I have the debit card, they can't use it. No, everybody gets one, even if they've already selected direct deposit. So while you're getting that debit card, they're taking the direct deposit into their account. So how bad is it? When I talked to the state last week, in 2019, this is for the Chicago area, Cook, Lake, DuPage, McHenry, Kane County, Will County, 98 new claims were filed for 2019. From September 1st of last year to December, same area for 3-4 months, 16,000 as opposed to 98 for the entire year. That's how bad it is. It is bad. So what they're doing is they're getting their money before you even get the debit card most of the times. How does it work? All right, here's how it works. So you got the bad guy. Bad guy goes on the internet and he takes your information that he bought from an illegitimate website. Social Security number, birthday, address, work history, everything about you. They then file the claim with the unemployment office. Unemployment office approves it. You get your debit card sent to you. Now, while that's going on, the bad guys hire what they call a mule, okay? Not the one you ride. Mule is a person that's also a criminal. The mule is the person that's going to be the middleman. And the mule usually lives in the US. More than likely, it's going to live in the state or area where they're hitting most of these. Cook County, Chicago area, whatnot. A lot of mules in this area here. So what they do is these bad guys, these criminals will contact these mules. Hey, you want to make $1,000 a week? Sure. Okay, do me a favor, set up a bank account. Don't put anything in it, and just, we're going to wire you money and just let the money sit there and we'll give you further instructions. Okay, well, so far the only thing the mule has to do is go to the bank and open up an account. That's the only thing they've had to do. Meanwhile, the bad guys are funneling all your unemployment benefits direct deposited to that account, to that mule's bank account. Once they have a bunch of money in there, at the end of the day, at the end of every other day, the bad guys contact the mules. Hey, how much money is in the bank account? Oh, well, there's $30,000. All right, do me a favor. Transfer the money in that account, except for keep 1,000 for yourself. Transfer that money except 1,000 to this bank account in India, in China, in Nigeria. Transfer it except for 1,000. Keep the 1,000 for yourself, and we'll be in touch with you. And that's what they do. So within a matter of days, once the bad guy gets your Social Security information, the claim is filed, the bank account is open, the money's transferred to the account. The money from that account is transferred to God knows where in the world, and once it's gone, it's gone. So that's how it works. Even though you get the physical debit card, money has already been, and your account has already been hacked, your information has already been hacked. It's brilliant. I mean, these criminals are brilliant. Just imagine what they could do if they were legit. So unfortunately, like it or not, like I said before, your information's out there on the internet. Some people are easier to find than others, but pretty much most everyone's information is out there in one form or another on the internet. You can't take it down. You can't erase it. You can't get rid of it. You can go to websites, and if you haven't, go ahead, Google your name, Google your address, Google your phone number. I think you're going to be surprised at what comes up. And just again, CSI, start looking around, start seeing what is out there about you. And you'll go to some websites where your information's on there, and you'll see a link. Is this you? You know, do you want to get rid of this? Would you like to block this? Don't click on that, because in order to block that or erase that information, guess what they need? Either a fee or they need more information from you. So don't click on it. And don't be shocked when you go on the internet and see exactly what is out there on you. You're out there. It's just a matter of how hard people want to look and where they want to look. So let's talk about ATMs. Safety. Nowadays, it's just the way society is now, folks. We have to be careful with everything we do. And it's not going to get better. It's not going to be back to the good old days or anything like that, where you could leave your front doors unlocked, windows open. It's not going to be like that anymore, and it never will be. Always, especially ATMs, always be aware of your surroundings. Where is the ATM located that you're using? What neighborhood? Is it on a street corner? Is it a drive-up one? Is it inside the bank? Always be aware of where your ATM is. Always be aware of what's going around the ATM. What's going around the area? Is there somebody hanging around? Is there a car parked, facing, watching, that just kind of seems out of place? Again, right here, the little hair I got back here, if that starts raising on the back of my neck, yeah, again, we call that a clue. You guys could do the same thing. If it doesn't feel right, there's a good chance it's not right. So always be aware of your surroundings. You are your own best security. Now, it would be wonderful if like this woman here, that would be fantastic. I bet you that woman could withdraw $1,000 and sit and count all $1,000 right in front of everybody on the street and not worry about one thing. Unfortunately, we don't have two beasts like that, but it would be nice. Again, you are responsible for your own security. She's doing it right. She's definitely responsible for her own security. Now, ATMs, I'm sure you guys have heard in the news about skimmers and all this ATM stuff going on where information is being stolen. Older methods of ATM skimming is where they put false face plates and keypads in place of what the original equipment is. And they look and they function just like the original. You can see here the skimmer. The skimmer is green. The fake skimmer is green, and it fits perfectly over the original skimmer. Well, in that fake skimmer is a little chip that reads the information. Again, now this is older technology. So that skimmer skims the card information. The fake keypad on the right there, that false keypad will enter the information into the existing keypad underneath it, but it also stores whatever information you're putting in there. So when you're entering your PIN, so what they do is they would take the information from the skimmer, sync it up with the PIN number, and then once they have that, they can load that on their debit card. And now they have not only your account information, but they have your PIN. And now they can go out and start doing whatever they want. So that's some of the older methods. Again, technology as it gets better, guess what? So do the criminals. As our technology increases, everything else that happens, it also has an effect on it. This is what they went to. Now they've gone to an all-in-one skimmer, and that actually goes inside. They get inside the machine and place that in the skimmer, and that does everything. It records the card number and records the PIN number. And if you're wondering how they get in, if you stop and think about it, especially this happens a lot, and not only at ATMs, but at gas pumps. So when you go to BP and you see that they have keys and locks on there, not every one of those gas pumps is a separate key. It's one key. And the technicians that work on those, they don't have separate keys for each individual BP gas station. They can have BP gas stations in Northern Illinois, and guess what? One key will unlock all those pumps. So if somebody fraudulently gets a hold of those, they can unlock these pumps. That is why you see when you go to gas pumps, you see the security tape, or you see the sticker from whatever company on there now, tamper evident. Nowadays, what they do is that strip is what goes inside now. That includes everything. That little wire strip is approximately 6 inches long. That's got the computer chip on there, and it records, saves everything. What they do is they get inside the ATM, they get inside the gas pump, and what they do is they connect one end to the motherboard and the other end to the reader where it interrupts it, and that stores everything. Here's the scary thing, it's all done by Bluetooth now. So once they get in there, they never have to go back into it. They can just pull up next to it like they're getting gas, and they can download everything that's been recorded in there. So again, as technology gets better for us, well, it also gets better for the criminals. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard, when you go up to an ATM, always pull on it, make sure it's everything's good, everything's legit. I've always done it. This is what I was down in Indianapolis. Walked into a CVS, I was waiting in line, I was third in line. A couple people in front of me getting money, boom, boom, boom. I walk up, I pull on it, and look what happened. The whole front of the ATM opened up. Okay, I don't know if you can see in there, there's a whole computer. Everything, all the information needed is right there. I don't know if a criminal did this. I don't know if a technician left it unlocked. But needless to say, I did not use this ATM. I'll always check. Always check. So here's some fun stuff for you. Documents. If you get any kind of documents, billing, anything with your personal information, account information on it, don't throw it away. It's not as common anymore, but it still is done. Dumpster diving, garbage picking, whatever. Don't throw it away. What you can do is two things you can do. You can shred it, or better yet, summer's coming up, time for a bonfire. Let's burn it. The two best ways to get rid of stuff. And again, just be aware that there are different kind of shredders out there. You have the strip cut, cross cut, micro cut, also called confetti. You don't really see strip cut anymore because that's kind of going on the wayside, older technology. It's either going to be cross cut, confetti, or micro cut. Shred, if you're not going to burn it, shred it. Get rid of it, make it impossible, and then you can throw it wherever you want. I don't care where you throw it, just not in my yard, please. So let's talk about this. Within the last few months, this has been an epidemic, not just in Chicago. Here, we've experienced several in the last few months, carjackings. In all seriousness, this is a dangerous situation. The criminals nowadays, they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about hurting you, not hurting you. They just don't care. People say, I'm going to fight back. Please don't. It's your car. It's your valuables. Don't try and take your purse. Don't try and take your wallet. Don't try and take your phones. They will tell you to leave them. And these criminals are getting more and more violent. If you even hesitate, they will physically harm you, rip you out of the car. They may even punch you, hit you, kick you because you didn't listen to them and do what they say. I would much rather come and talk to you and console you about your car being taken and your wallet being taken than having to go and console your family because you were trying to prevent a carjacking and you got killed or hurt. Items can be replaced. It might be a pain in the ass, but items can be replaced. You can't. And again, the criminals nowadays, it's getting worse. Unfortunately, that's the way society is now. Do not fight it. The best thing you can do is be a great witness. Try and remember as much as you can. More than likely, there's going to be some type of separate a second car around. If you can't see another car, try and get remember as much detail as you can about the person. They will not let you take your purse. They will not let you take your wallet or your cell phone. They will literally tell you or rip you out of the car and they're gone. Any hesitation or any resistance on your part could be extremely bad for you. So I know it's hard to hear and I know it's hard to do, but it is not worth it nowadays. It is not worth it. Just look at the news. Look how many people just this year alone have been carjacked, not only in the city, but also in the suburbs. Look how many people have gotten killed or injured because they've tried to fight back or they resisted. This is a very hard topic and a very hard thing for many people to do. But again, unfortunately, this is the way our society is, and it's not pleasant. It sucks, actually. But I would rather come talk to you and take this report that your car was taken rather than trying to explain to your family what happened. Enough about that. Big thing a lot of times we get is, yeah, you know what, I don't want to bother the police. Police are busy, I don't want to report it. No, that's our job. That is our job. If something happens, please report it. If it's a crime that we can't solve, okay, guess what? Hey, look, we tried, we can't solve it. The good thing is that we now know what's happening. We can document it. So you may not think it's a big deal, and we may have 10 other people that may not think it's a big deal and don't report it. Well, then in our eyes, guess what? It's not happening. But if we have 10 people all report it, holy cow, we got something going on here. So please don't feel that you're bothering us. To me, that's kind of like going to a nice restaurant and but you don't want to order dinner because I don't want to bother the chef. No, bother the chef. That's his job. Yeah, call us, please. That is our job. Our job is to take reports. Our job is to be here for you. So that's what I got for now. I appreciate the time. I appreciate everybody kind of chiming in. So let's take some questions. Anybody has any questions?
Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise. I'm going to group some of the questions together here. We have a few questions about credit reports. So, what happens after you freeze your credit and when you go to apply for another credit card, a mortgage? Can you kind of walk us through that?
Sure. It's very simple. Freezing your credit will not affect your credit report, your credit score, or anything. It does not affect it at all. And say when you stop and think about it, the only time you really need your credit, your credit score, your credit available is when you're applying for a loan, credit card, mortgage. That's the only time you need it, which is what, 1% of your life. So it's not really necessary to keep it open and available. When, say, you are going to go apply for a mortgage or you are going to go buy a car, you can go to these websites and it's simply as clicking unfreeze my credit. It unfreezes it. You go buy your car, you go apply for your mortgage, whatever. Once you get the approval, you go back, refreeze my credit. Super simple. And there's steps on all three of the websites that explain what to do. It's not hard. It's not difficult. But yeah, when you stop and think about it, the only time you really need your credit is when you're applying for something. So, and it does not affect your credit at all. Credit reports, you're allowed one a year from each of the credit bureaus. So every 4 months, go ahead and go to Experian, get your free credit report. 4 months later, go to TransUnion, get their free credit report. Go to Equifax and get their free credit. So you can legitimately get 3 credit reports a year for free by using that method.
We have a related question about locking down a deceased parent or relative's credit report.
Yeah, same thing. That you may have to talk to the credit bureaus directly and explain to them, because what they're going to want is they're going to want a copy of the death certificate. And thank you. Good point. Freezing your credit. If you have children with a social security number, freeze their credit, because what we're starting to see now is these criminals are going out using children's social security numbers, setting up fake accounts. And by the time these children are now 17, 18 years old and applying for credit, they have a long history of their credit being shot, and it's almost impossible to fix. So good point. Yes, deceased, absolutely. They're more likely going to require a death certificate. So you're going to need to speak to them directly. And if you have any children, freeze their credit also, social security number.
And just to clarify, Lois has a question about when you do freeze your credit, are we to assume that we just go, like you said, we just go about our daily life? We really shouldn't have any issues when we go to use our credit cards, or if our credit's frozen, do the credit card companies know that, and then we might not be able to complete a purchase?
No, those are two separate entities. Your credit card is one entity, your credit report and the credit bureau services is another entity. The only time those two talk and connect is if you are requesting a new credit card or you're requesting a credit line increase, and then they're going to check your credit. Other than that, no, a credit card purchase has nothing to do with your with the credit bureaus. They are two separate entities. The only time they talk is when you're applying for credit or increasing credit or anything like that. That's the only time that anyone communicates with the credit bureaus.
And then can you clarify that we must do the credit card freeze on an annual basis?
No, once it's done, it's done. And again, it's free. They don't charge anything. Once it's done, it's there until you take it away. Or unfreeze it or whatever. And if you do unfreeze it, just please remember to go back and freeze it again. But yeah, it's there. Once you put it in place, it stays there. It stays there. It's not an annual thing. And when you go to the websites and the freeze your credit, there's all sorts of questions and really good information on all three websites that really explain in detail and really clear of what freezing your credit really does, what it can and can't do.
Okay, and then we're going to move along to progress on the IDES fraud. That is a good question. Are they making any progress with that in terms of putting on any safeguards so that doesn't happen?
Yes. The big problem is that it happened so quickly, and it caught a lot of the state off guard because they were processing. All of a sudden, they went from processing like just for the Chicago area for 2019 with 98 claims, and then all of a sudden now they have 16,000. That's just for the Chicago area. That's not including the rest of the state. But it's happening all over. And unfortunately, Illinois is a prime target because just due to the way the unemployment system works in Illinois, there's not a whole lot of verification. So Illinois is an easy target. And I hate to say that, but we are. They've realized that, they're fixing it, and just within the last few months, they've gotten a handle on it, and they're really starting to turn that number around, and the number of false claims has been greatly reduced, but it's still happening. So just keep that in mind. It is reduced, and it is going down, but it's still happening. So please keep that in mind that it's not gone, and it never will go away.
Back to the questions about credit. We do have someone stating that they froze their credit, but it only lasted a year for who they dealt with.
Okay. My understanding was all three credit bureaus, once you put it on, it's good for as long as you need it. So double check on each of the websites, and if it's done every year now, if they changed it to every year, then just set yourself a reminder and just spend a few minutes and freeze your credit, because the few minutes you spend there will save you literally months of grief by doing that. And if that's what it is now, that they've changed it, that you do have to do it on an annual basis, then you know what, so be it. Grab a drink, make a cocktail, and sit down and start freezing your credit.
We have a question here regarding clarification on whether you do have to report it to all three credit bureaus, correct?
Yeah, there's been some confusion where people have said you report it to one and all three will be notified. I've always told people to go and do it to all three yourself. This way, there's no question about it. I've heard that Equifax will notify all three. I've heard that Equifax doesn't do that. So if you're gonna do it to all three. This way, you know it's done. You're not relying on, well, I hope they did it. You know it's done, and because you've done it yourself.
Yes. Now we're going to turn over to phones. People receiving a lot of calls for donations to the police fund and the police department. Are any of these legitimate?
Yes and no. And the problem is, I can't tell you which ones are legitimate and which ones are not. So as much as I hate to say this, a phone solicitation to help the police department, I would not do. I would go online, again, let's kick in the CSI here, and research on the internet what are legitimate police donation sites, and find out, do your research, make sure they're legitimate. And as much as I hate to say it, these unsolicited phone calls to help the police, I don't even do it. I don't even do it. If I want to donate to the police department, I'll give my boss $10. So.
Yes. So we have other questions here about people receiving emails saying their accounts are canceled or going to be canceled if they don't respond. Is it best practice to just close out all those windows and go to that actual vendor, call the actual vendor if you're in doubt?
Correct. Bank of America, oh, we have a problem with your account. If you don't respond, we're gonna close and cancel your account. Okay, well, close that email, get rid of that email, close that internet window or whatever, and again, type in whatever Bank of America's address is and go directly to it and access your account through there. Or if you have any questions, call the number on the legitimate Bank of America website. If you're getting an email like that, what are they doing? They're creating a panic for you. They're creating something where you're going to have to make a quick decision. If you don't do this now, something bad is going to happen. The banks, they don't do that. They give you some time. So yeah, absolutely. Don't click on the link. Don't respond to the email. Don't call any phone numbers that they have. Go into the legitimate website and research it. Start your research there.
Yeah, so Thomas wants to know how to be a little more secure with ATMs. And I know that you showed us about, inspecting the machines. Are the ones safer that are in the bank lobbies, or do you have any tips for that?
Generally, yes. The ATMs themselves are safer, but you can still have bad people in there hanging around like they're waiting to talk to a banker or something, and they're watching and seeing how much money you take out. And if you're not paying attention, could that person follow you and you go to Jewel or you go to Walmart or you just go somewhere and then they come up and rob you? Because they know if you just took out $500, they know that you have $500 on you. So yes, the ATMs will be more secure inside, but always be aware. I mean, you become a human bobblehead. Keep looking around, be aware of your surroundings. Don't run around like you're paranoid, because then people will look at you. But just kind of look around. Again, you're your own best security. Generally, yes, the ATMs inside the banks are more secure. Your drive-up ATMs are, if you've looked at them lately, they're getting bigger. They're turning into like Fort Knox. But anything freestanding ATMs like you see in a 7-Eleven or Walgreens or anything like that, yeah, just be your own best security. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Exactly. We have two questions here about people who have had their computers locked. Do you have to take it to a vendor to get your computer unlocked?
Yeah, that has happened from malware, maliciousware, and it's nicknamed malware, or basically what it is, a virus. It's always good to have some type of antivirus software on your computer. Just make sure it's a legitimate one, it's a good one. Again, kick in your CSI skills, do your research, find out which antivirus programs really work. The better ones, they're not going to be cheap, but in the long run, they're worth it. Yeah, if you do have an issue where your computer is locked and it's literally being held ransom, you may have to take it to an authorized dealer. You may have to take it like Best Buy has their Geek Squad. You may have to find a reputable computer repair. Not just some Joe Schmo off Craigslist or anything like that. Find a reputable computer company, computer repair company or shop, and you may have to take it to them. Again, you're going to have to pay for it, but usually that results from clicking on a link on an email or going to a wrong website, clicking on a link for a bad website. So that the whole start of it is back to these emails and back to these fraudulent websites. Don't click on anything. But if it's already happened, yeah, I mean, if you have stuff on your computer, you may very well have to go get it fixed, and it will cost some money. And yes, like anything else, you get what you pay for. You may, if you want a good antivirus protection software, you're generally going to have to fork out some money for it, unfortunately, but it saves you the hassle.
Okay, we have a few more questions about phones, and you were saying don't answer because then they'll know that that's a live number. What about when it connects to an answering machine? And what about when you ignore a call that you don't know, if you don't know who it is, you ignore the call, then do you get on their list of people who have voicemail and so forth?
Yeah, so good question. So don't ignore the call. Just hit the volume to silence it. And these robocalls, these computer programs, these machines that do the calling, if most of everyone's voicemails and answering machines or whatever will answer on the fourth ring, right after the fourth ring. These computers know if it rings 4 times and then there's a connection, it's more than likely not a legit number. Or if you have your phone off and it doesn't ring at all and goes right to voicemail, the computer machines also know that that is not, it's not an active number. So those numbers will be erased. So instead of ignoring the call, so if it rings twice, you see it and you ignore it, that's not it on the second ring. It's not 4 and it's not 0. So it kind of looks at it as like, well, somebody actively rejected the call. Just silence the call, let it ring 4 times, let it go to your voicemail. You're not going to see a reduction immediately. I've been doing this now. I started doing this probably about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. I just don't answer the phone if I don't recognize the number. And I will tell you that the number of calls that I've gotten has decreased greatly. I still get them, but nowhere near as much as I used to. So don't ignore it. If you just hit the volume button, one of the volume buttons, it stops the ringing, and just let it do its 4 rings, and then it'll stop. A lot of times what we're seeing now is it will be your cell phone number's area code and the first 3 digits of your cell phone number. And then it'll be 4 random digits afterwards. That's something we're seeing a lot more now, where it's kind of spoofing your number a little bit, just to try and get you to answer.
Yes. Mary sends a thank you message to all the police officers for all that you do.
Thank you, Mary.
She says, I respect and appreciate you.
All right, I got one friend out there. Thank you.
No, there's many.
Oh.
And then we also have a request for suggestions about home security and video monitoring.
Yes, great, good question. Ring doorbells, things like that are great. They're really good to have, and they've really come down in price. Even other video systems. You go to Costco now, and you can get an 8-10 camera system for a couple $100, where even 2 years ago those things were well into the thousands. Definitely worth it. Better peace of mind. Security systems like alarm systems like ADT and stuff like that, they're good, but understand that they are kind of pricey. They're good to let you know that someone has broken into your house. Because the way the process works is, if I break into your house, you have an alarm system, your alarm goes off. The alarm company will try and make contact with whatever number is designated by those people, whether it's a home phone, a cell phone, whatever. So they will try and make contact. If they make contact with you, then, hey, we just got an alarm. Is this you? No, it's not me. Call the police. Then they have to call the police. Police are then dispatched. So by the time the police arrive there, the criminals are long gone. They're a great deterrent. Don't get me wrong, they're fantastic deterrent, and they're great to let you know when someone has broken into your house. Camera systems, a lot of like the motion activated camera systems, your Rings, all your other camera systems, you can set them up so you'll be notified as soon as there's motion. So if you have one by your back door, by your sliding glass door, by your front door, as soon as there's motion, you can get notified, and you can pull them up right on your phone. You can pull up these notifications. You can see live what's going on before anything has even happened. Both things are great. Alarm systems are good. Camera systems are great. And again, you get what you pay for. Don't be cheap and get something just to get by, because as we all know, Murphy's Law, if you get something just to get by, when you really need it, guess what's not going to work? Yeah, your alarm system or your cameras. You don't have to spend a lot, but just again, do your research. Good question. Yes, I recommend either or both. If you can afford it, put them in, whatever. Yes, they're just another tool, a really good tool to have to establish your own protection and your own security.
So back to credit monitoring, someone has checked on the internet and states that the credit freeze generally lasts for 7 years, but different states have different rules. So that's what they're saying that they found on the internet.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, good
then,
information. Thank you.
how do we unfreeze our credit? Do the credit bureaus give you a PIN or a password? How do you unfreeze?
Yeah. When you go on there, when you set up an account with them, yeah, you're going to set up PIN, password, phrase, whatever. And in order to freeze it or unfreeze it, yeah, you're going to have to enter in the password, the PIN, whatever is designated, in order for the action to take place. You just can't go in and just like, I can't hack your computer and go in and click on unfreeze your credit and then go in. Yeah, when you set up an account, like I said, there's all sorts of directions in there. It does take a few minutes to do it, but it's well worth it for the peace of mind of down the road of, God forbid, something that does happen. But yeah, thank you for looking that up. I didn't know that different states have different regulations.
And then Debbie is asking a question, and I'm paraphrasing here, but did the hackers hack the do not call list? Is that do not call list appropriate anymore?
Yeah, that do not call list, they say it's out there. And my personal opinion is, yeah, it doesn't work, because I've signed up for it, and I still get the phone calls. So I don't know if it's legit. I don't know if they did away with it just because of there's so many variations now. There's so many programs out there on the internet that you can use to falsify or fake your caller ID. I could make my caller ID, make it look like I'm calling from the Pope's office in Rome. So, I mean, it's just, my guess is it's so hard now to determine and set up what's fake and what's not. That I don't even know if that even is worth it anymore. I signed up for it years ago and it worked for a little bit and then it stopped. And I haven't heard of anybody that's done successfully use a do not call list where it actually works repeatedly all the time. So unfortunately, I would say no right now.
Karen is asking about codes that you can use on your phone to block calls. And I know there are also answering systems you can get that will screen your calls as well. Do you have any insight on that?
Yeah, every phone company is different. Verizon, T-Mobile, Cricket, they all have variations of that. Where if it's, and I'm sure some of you have seen, because I know like Verizon and T-Mobile, they've actually been very progressive in this. And if you haven't already, you're probably going to start seeing it more, where you're going to getting phone calls and it will say underneath it potential spam automatically, or the potential spam call silenced. So these bigger companies, if these phone companies are actually being very progressive and actually taking steps to already help prevent that. But again, like I said before, there's so many different ways that these bad guys can spoof a number, make up a number, generate a number that can trick these systems. I mean, it's literally millions of different possibilities that can be used by these guys. And it's difficult for these phone companies to keep up with it. Again, with technology, when something good comes out, guess what? The bad guys figure out how to extort that good. Yeah, you can take a look at whatever your carrier is, whether it's Verizon, T-Mobile, whatever. Research it and take a look and see exactly what that blocking can and can't do. I was blocking calls all the time, and within 3 months, I had 120 numbers that I blocked, and I was still getting phone calls. So it's good and it's bad, but again, I think the criminals right now with these calls, they have the upper hand just because of the technology available to them.
We have a question about computer passwords, the password storage online, password vaults on the internet. Can they get hacked?
Anything can get hacked, anything. And I don't care if it's your eBay account or if it's the IRS or if it's Microsoft headquarters, anything can get hacked. It's what makes it more secure is how hard is it to hack into there, and what is the benefit of hacking into something that hard. Yes, anything can get hacked. There's many companies out there that offer cloud storage, online storage of passwords, which is fine and dandy. Again, you need to research them, because the potential there for criminals setting up a fake company. We have the most secure storage vault, online storage vault on the internet, and you submit all these passwords and information, and it's a faulty site. I'm not a fan of them. I'm right now, because they're so new and they're relatively new, I'm very leery of it. So I don't do it. I do have passwords stored elsewhere. I do not use any of these online storage vaults, clouds, whatever, only because, and this is just me, only because it is very new, and I'm very leery about that. Maybe down the road, technology increases, things get better, I might consider it, but right now, for me, it's too new. And my personal opinion is I wouldn't use it. I would find other ways and other methods of storing your passwords.
So we have a question here about home safety. And for people who live alone, if they fall and even if they have a home alert system where they press a button, how do the police get into their home? And do you have some sort of a box or way to help our seniors? be safe at home if the police need to get into their home, or the fire department?
Yeah, generally, when something like that happens, there's steps that need to be taken that set up with the company, whatever company they choose, these alert companies. Is there a neighbor that will have a key? Is there a relative nearby that can also respond, that has keys or access? It's things like that that will all be set up ahead of time. God forbid, okay, you don't have any nearby neighbors, don't have any nearby relatives that you can leave a key with or anything like that. The police will come, we can't get in. We call our friends the firemen, and unfortunately the firemen have like an all access key called an axe. And they will get in your door. They try and do it as clean and respectful as they can. But sometimes, yeah, that door needs to come off, and which is fine, because if your life or health is in danger, that door means nothing. But we will get in whether we need to or not. But these alert companies generally will set something like that. That will all be set up well in advance. A neighbor, a friend, relative, somebody nearby, or property manager that has access to a key to get into your unit is usually how it works.
So Thomas is saying thank you to the police for
Thank you,
all
Thomas.
you do. And others are saying that they feel very enlightened from the presentation. They've gained a lot. Other people are suggesting that we monitor our financial accounts if we can daily, on a daily basis, a weekly basis. And then others are asking about public Wi-Fi to be avoided. If there's a password on public Wi-Fi, they're asking about connection to a VPN. When is it safe? What's it safe to do on public Wi-Fi? And could you potentially be giving hackers your password?
Yeah, great question. Yes, and yes. Yeah, public Wi-Fi. If many people, again, like I said before, with the technology and everything is literally being done on a smartphone. If you do any kind of transactions, you have any kind of bank account, financial information, or apps, you have your BMO Harris app on your phone, you have your Target app on the phone, anything, your PayPal app, any type of financial app on your phone that you have, do not use any kind of public Wi-Fi. Do not use public Wi-Fi. I don't have any financial apps on my phone. So, and even then, I still don't use public Wi-Fi. Okay, I can go into Walmart, I go into Lowe's. Yes, okay, that's relatively secure, but you go to some other places, you don't know whose public Wi-Fi you're accessing. Yes, your information can be stolen, hacked, gained using illegitimate or criminal public Wi-Fis. I don't use them. When I'm at home, I turn my Wi-Fi on. When I leave the house, I turn my Wi-Fi off on my phone. And that also saves, little tidbit, that also saves on your battery, because if you constantly leave your Wi-Fi on and you're going around running errands, whatever, in and out of stores, your phone, if your Wi-Fi is on, your phone is trying to connect, constantly trying to search for an available Wi-Fi. You turn that off, it actually saves the battery life on your phone. But no, if at all possible, avoid using public Wi-Fi, especially if you have any kind of financial application on your phone.
Well, thank you. We have a couple more questions here. So last call for questions. So this one is really interesting. Here is a question about giving the police access to their home with a combination padlock at some point. Can that number be given to the dispatch people? Or I'm assuming during the time of an emergency, or can it be given in advance?
Advance? No. Because God forbid your house gets broken into, we have no suspects, and the only people who have access to your keypad is you and the police. Ugh, that's not good.
But at the time of an
time?
issue, if I fall, I can,
Correct. Yeah. And if there's an emergency, by all means, yes, we've done that before in the past. We've done that with garage codes. That happens all the time. We get an alarm at a house and the people are on vacation. The alarm company calls and they're in Florida. They call the police department. Hey, yeah, here's my garage code. Go in and check the house, and then sure, we've done that quite a bit. But putting codes in advance, we do not want anybody's codes stored, access codes, combos. We do not want any of that. If there's an emergency and we ask for it, then we'll take it. But to keep it beforehand, no, thank you.
should I give the Life Alert Company the access code?
If you feel comfortable with, yeah. If you feel comfortable with it, then absolutely. And then they can forward it to us right away.
Okay, another thank you. Thank you all for the good messages to our police department.
Thank you.
Here's an interesting question. Do you have another moment?
I'm here till 10 o'clock tonight, so.
So we have a question here. If I sell something online or somewhere, can I do that exchange in the lobby of the police station for my safety?
We actually have two spots right in front of the police department specifically for that. There are many police departments now all over that are doing the same thing. There are specific designated spots for online transaction sales. There is a security camera focused strictly on that spot to record everything. By all means, yes, absolutely. I highly recommend that that's what you do. And if you don't feel comfortable standing out in the parking lot in those two spots, absolutely meet in the lobby of the police department. If it's legitimate, the other person you're selling or buying something from should feel safe too, that's where you want to meet. If the person is adamant that they don't want to meet there, again, we call it a clue, and I would not go through with the transaction. Yes, by all means, please come to our police department and buy and sell whatever you want, as long as it's not drugs.
Well, thank you so much for all of your expertise. We really appreciate it. We have one more question. I thought it would be nice as a wrap up question, but I do want to remind everyone that when they exit the webinar, the survey will pop up. That's how you enter for the raffle prize. So please fill out the survey form. And then if you are listening on the phone, you would be calling 847-923-9196. So what you would need to do is call to enter the drawing. Our last question, unless any more pop in here, the police class. So can you talk a little bit about, we're getting a few more questions, but can you talk a little bit about the police class that residents can take? And do you still do that, or is that online these days?
Yeah, oh yeah, we still, we haven't done it obviously because of COVID, but we will be starting them up again. Citizen Police Academy is I'm assuming is what you're referring to. Yeah, hopefully we'll be getting those up and running again here at the police department. For Schaumburg residents, or if you own a business in Schaumburg, yeah, you can sign up, and 11 weeks, 10 weeks. It's 10 weeks every Wednesday evening. And what it does is it's a class where every Wednesday night, different aspects of the police department are taught. And I teach many classes in that. I've been teaching it for years. I think I've been teaching now for 18 years, 15 years I've been teaching it. And I enjoy teaching it because it allows the public to come in and see kind of behind the scenes of what we do, how things work here, why we do what we do, why we don't do what we do. And it shows you all different aspects of what go on in the police department. It's not just squad cars and policemen writing tickets and whatnot. There's so much more that goes on behind the scene. I highly encourage anyone to please come join, talk to people. Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association called CPAS, CPAAS. Look them up, talk to them, anyone that's been in the class. I'm hoping that they'll say it was a good class and that they enjoyed it. By all means, please, yes, come join the class.
Excellent. Any last questions about home security? That's pretty much what we're seeing here. Some people are suggesting putting the police department's address, I believe, into their GPS for their home address. People are asking a little bit more about self-monitoring wireless home security systems, how safe they are, and is the information on our cameras going overseas? Anything else we should think about before we get a home wireless security system?
Yeah, and like I said before, anything can be hacked, anything. It all depends on what information can be gained from that hack. Is it anything worthwhile? And I'm sure people have heard stories of baby monitors, wireless baby monitors being hacked, and guys getting in and watching the babies and whatnot, and yelling stuff through the speaker and everything. Okay, that's a wireless baby monitor is an extremely low tech and extremely easy hack to get into, because there's not much technology in a wireless baby monitor. Your security systems, your wireless security systems, any kind of security system, whether it's wired or wireless, they have a lot more security steps in them, a lot more technology is built into them. Can they be hacked? Sure. But what is the hacker going to gain? The hacker is going to gain access to your system and do what? He's going to look at your backyard. He's going to look at your front door. There's no real information or benefit financially to do that. And as far as people thinking that, oh, like, well, criminals, the burglars are going to monitor my home and see us when we leave, and then they're going to break in. I'm not going to say that's not going to happen. The odds of that happening are very slim, because the amount of technology required to do all that is not something your average burglar is going to possess or do. Your average burglar is just literally going to come up and knock on the door. If somebody answers, hey, is Bill home? There's no Bill here. Oops, sorry, wrong house. They knock on the door and nobody answers. Guess what? They go around to the back door. That's the level of technology that they use. So can systems be hacked? Sure. I know some people for medical purposes, some people because of family members of medical conditions, they have some security cameras in their house so they can monitor while they're at work. They can flip on the camera inside. Hey, is grandma okay? What's she doing? All right, she's sitting down, she's watching TV, everything good. That would be a little concerning, but again, what is what is the benefit that they would get for hacking into a video system? Really no big financial benefit for that. But again, research and see what system you're looking at. Is it a good system? And what are its limitations? What can it do? What can it do? So again, do your own research and ask the questions: the who, what, when, where, why. Why should I get this? Who is going to have access to this? Me and the company? Well, when is this going to be upgraded? When will I be able to access my stuff? Ask the questions, and again, do your own research so you are comfortable with what you find.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We have a lot of messages here saying thank you to the police department.
Thank you
so much for your expertise. Just want to let everyone know, when we end this webinar or when you leave, you'll get the survey, and the survey will let you enter the drawing. And for those people phoning in, people watching on YouTube, the number to call to register for the prize drawing, I just want to make sure I give you the right number: 847-923-3196. Thank you to you, Detective Paul, and to the police department. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.